Hey guys, it's QuickyBaby and welcome to a game in the AMX 5120. This game has a nice twist at the end, so you wait for it to happen. So, we're playing on Port, which is not the best map for the 5120, but as long as you can try and pick your targets, I still think it's a fairly good map for the tank. I'm making my way west because I felt that I was going to be needed over here the most, and I wanted to basically avoid the artillery. The 5120 does not take fire well, let's be honest. If it gets hit by artillery, there's a high chance that it goes in and basically takes out the tank completely. And its turret armor is really weak. Apart from miracle bounces, every tank in the game penetrates this tank over and over and over again. So what does that mean? That you basically need to be an assassin. You need to go and take out tanks when they have barely any chance to return fire. So arguably, that means using your team like meat shields, or taking advantage of very slow tanks or low caliber tanks that are unable to return fire while you unload your salvo. With the 120mm on this tank, you do 400 alpha damage, and you have 4 shells in your autoloader. Each reload takes just over half a minute. So you better make your shots count and be prepared to retreat to be able to reload as quickly as you can. So here we can see there's an M103, a Pershing, an IS-4 and an IS-3 in front of us. That IS-4 has got a god matchup. Can you believe that matchup for the IS-4? One tier 10 tank, one tier 9 tank. I mean, the matchup's excellent for me, let alone that IS-4. He's the only tier 10 tank, and most of the enemy and my team are tier 8s. So here we can see I got spotted, so I'm being very mindful that I don't want to get hit by the artillery right now. I'm looking at the map, and I'm seeing that actually we've got a huge amount of tanks over on the west here. So really, I don't want to be selfish. I'd like to hang around here, and I'm pretty sure all the medium tanks came over here because they don't want to get artilleried as well. So I'm going to put some pressure on this Lurve, who's advancing across the middle of the map. First shell goes in. Second shell goes in. He's on fire, so I know he's dead, so I decide to shoot the Type 62. That shell goes high. And that shell went just in front of him. I gave him a little bit too much lead. So, we started reloading. So you guys can gauge how long it takes to reload this tank. It's not the longest reload, but it's not the fastest reload. Everyone who gets this tank has to play the 5100, and you will know with the 100mm and reloading 6 shells, that takes an age. So after playing that tank for a while, even though this tank can do less total damage in one clip than a tank that's lower tier than it, it's kind of like a sweet spot in my opinion for some people. So unfortunately I was unable to stop that Type 62 from taking down the Lorraine, and we lost 2 of our 4 artillery. But I was able to come back and help them out. So now I can see I'm going to reload again, even though I had 2 shells left in the clip. It's good to be reloaded in this tank so you're able to fight your way out of situations. You can basically take out an entire tier 8 heavy tank with 4 shots as long as you don't roll really low. And you can take out tier 8 medium tanks in 1 clip. The penetration on this gun is fantastic. As you can see, it's 267 with regular ammo and 351 with APCR with its premium rounds. Basically, a lot of people I know, higher ranked players, only fire APCR in this tank, and they will just waff at the front of your tank because the aim time is, it's okay. The aim time's not fantastic in this tank, and that's where the weakness comes really, is the having to aim those shells, and you take hits in the process of while aiming them. So a lot of people will load APCR, so literally they almost don't even have to aim at the front of your tank because it's nearly guaranteed to go in. I'm just going to say what I was thinking now. I think that the south flank is fairly safe because as you can see we've got a Lurve, 2 tier 8 medium tanks, and we've got a WZ-132 who are going to look after that flank. So I'm going to go across the west now and ambush what I think is the most vulnerable area. We can see there's an ISU, an M103, and an IS-3 over at that location, as well as there being 4 artillery left against a Tiger II and a T-34 on fairly low health. I'm going to speed up the game a little bit here. So we haven't been spotted, haven't been spotted, haven't been spotted, haven't been spotted. That's what's going through my mind. Haven't been spotted, haven't been spotted, haven't been spotted. Time for an ambush. Here we go. See the power of this tank. Schlam, 1 in, 1 kill, double kill. We've got 2 shells left. I know there's an ISU just in front of me. I'm thinking, shall I reload? Is the ISU going to come? Is he going to come? This Tiger 2 spotting. He's spotting, he's spotting, he's spotting. And the ISU reappears. He's relocated. He's no longer here, so I decide to reload. That's the kind of advantage that you can get with XVM at the moment. And other people are using this. It is a significant advantage, but I want to be competitive. So if other people are using this, I'm going to use mods that, as long as Wargaming say they're allowed to use. But these are the things that you can basically use these kind of mods to an advantage to. And are they an advantage? Yes. Do I think that they should be incorporated into the game? I think that Wargaming should take these mods and basically add in the ones that it chooses and then not allow any other mods at all. So here we can see there's an IS-4 on full health, and I'm thinking, god damn, an IS-4 on full health? Are you serious? Somehow he manages to spot me. He must have just caught a glimpse of the front of my tank, and he's coming after me. We can see that our Tier 8 heavies are now putting pressure on their artillery. A nice IS-4 is getting engaged by our Indenpanzer. I totally missed the first shot. He gets a bit confident and comes around, and I track him in a very good position. I hit his lower plate again. And unfortunately he moves back just as I fire off my last shell, and so we only track him. So now we're reloading, and I decide, after looking at his health, that I need to penetrate every shot on that IS-4 if I want to carry this game. I can't afford to have 1 bounce and 3 low rolls, because he will kill me if I don't manage to kill him. So, APCR, if you buy them for half price, it's only double the cost of regular ammunition. So you've got to decide, is that 4,000 credits worth it? Now I decided that it was worth it in this situation to take out a tier 10 tank. So here we go, fully loaded with our APCR. Going after this IS-4 for the kill. He misses his first shot. Unfortunately we roll low. 316 roll, meaning that we have to put our last shot into the IS-4 for only 42 damage. Really, if we hadn't min-rolled there, we would have been able to kill the ISU-152 as well. So we can see that we put 6 shells into that IS-4. We only took 1 hit from him. We did 2,000 damage to him. He wasn't the best of players, but in this kind of a matchup, he really should have had a bigger role in the game. Looks like he played too defensively and just wasn't effective. So we've done 4,000 damage so far. There's 2 artilleries left and they're decent players. I need to give them some respect. I finished reloading, so now it's my time to go after them. I'm trying to figure out, gauge where the M43 is, and here he is. I'm going to side scrape round the corner a little bit so I can get a shot into him. And he misses his shot because we were side scraping. So, we killed the M43. And this Lorraine decides that he's a total scumbag and he doesn't want to give me his Top Gun. So, fuck you, Mr. Lorraine. Fuck you. You're not stealing that Top Gun from me, you scumbag. Bloody scumbag players. He deserves a report for that. Oh my god. So let's take a look at the after-game stats, guys. So here we can see the after-game stats that we had in that rather hilarious 51-20 game. We can see that we got 3,710 experience, doubled. And thanks to killing that scumbag who was trying to drown himself to take it away from us, we still got our Top Gun medal. We got quite a lot of damage done. Look at that, 4,800 damage, which is over double of every other tank apart from the T110E4 on my team. We can see that the enemy IS-4 had an absolute shocker. He did less than 1,000 damage, considering he was the only tier 10 tank against basically only tier 8 tanks. But oh well, what's he going to do? Anyway, guys, what do I think about the 51-20? I think it's alright. It's just not quite. It's just not quite. I don't feel super connected to it. Because I feel that you just take such a large amount of punishment unless you can play it like an absolute assassin and literally almost use your team as meat shields and only engage tanks that are engaged with other tanks already. And you know me as a player, I kind of like to be quite aggressive, and I like to fight the one-on-ones, and I like to push the tempo of the game because I feel like I need to carry it. So maybe it's not the tank for me. I want to try out the American autoloaders. I want to go and try out the American autoloaders, and then I can give a full opinion on whether I think that the 5120 is an amazing tank. I did try out the American autoloaders on the test servers, and I can tell you that the rate of fire, as in how fast they unload their shells, is just so overpowered in my opinion right now on the regular servers. Like, you can lose all of your health or half your health between a reload against an American autoloader, whereas the French tanks actually have a larger gap in between their shells, which means that maybe you have to take a shell to make 4 shells happen, or to even take 2 shells to make 4 shells happen. And whereas this doesn't matter, maybe like if you only want to kill 1 tank in a game and just do your little bit, if you want to try and carry, I think maybe it's slightly harder to carry in a 5120 than like a T54E1. But anyway, I'm going to get the American autoloaders eventually, and then, you know, I'll judge my opinion based on them. But still, this is a great tank, and you should definitely go for it if you're interested in being sort of an assassin that's able to go in, do a lot of damage, and get out quickly. So guys, as always, you've been epic. Thanks a lot for watching. Good luck on the battlefield, and hopefully I'll see you soon.